Hi, mathematicians. Today we're going to do a review of something we did in class. It is multiplying a long number by a single digit whole number. So let's say I have the number 325, and I'm going to multiply it by the number, let's do the number 4. Okay? Now, this is why it's so important that we know our multiplication facts, because it makes it helpful to do this kind of problem. But if you're still working on memorizing your multiplication facts, remember you can always use the reference that you should have in your binder or any other reference you have that shows you what the multiplication facts are. Okay, so let's get started. So the first way that we are going to do this is basically this is the order that we do. We take the single digit whole number on the bottom, and then we go right to left, multiplying by all the numbers on the top, right to left. So first we're going to multiply by the 5, then we're going to multiply by the 2, and then we're going to multiply by the 3. Now, one thing that we have to keep in mind is that sometimes we need to carry numbers, and when we carry numbers, we add them. So the best way, I think, to learn how to do anything is by simply doing it over and over, right? So let's do some practice. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do 4 times 5. Remember, we're going right to left. 4 times 5 is 20. Now, whatever number is in the ones place, when we have something that's more than one digit, whatever number is in the ones place, that's going to go below the numbers that we're multiplying. And then the other number gets carried and added to the product of the next number we're multiplying. So we've got the 2, so we do plus 2 here. All right? Now, this is where some people get a little nervous. Just remember that you might make mistakes along the way, and that's okay. That is okay. Practice makes progress. So we're just going to practice a lot, and we're going to do it so much that eventually you're not even going to be thinking about it. You're going to be doing it in your sleep practically. So the next part is we're going to do 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Now, the first thing we need to do, though, is look up. Is there anything that was carried over? Oh, yes, there sure was. There was that plus 2. So we need to do 8 plus 2, and that's 10. Uh-oh, we got this 2-digit number. So what do? We bring the number in the ones place over, and we put it under that. This is why it's so good to keep everything lined up perfectly. So we put the 0 there, and now we're going to take this number in tens digit. We're going to bring it all the way over here, this 1, and then we have a plus 1. And now we're going to multiply the 4 by the 3. 4, oh, you know what? I just realized I wrote really messy over here. Let me fix that, guys. This is a plus 1. Excuse me there. So now we do 4 times 3. That's 12. But we always have to check, was there anything carried over that we need to add? And there sure was. There was that plus 1. 12 plus 1 equals 13. Now there's nothing over here. It's empty space, which means that we don't really need to carry anything over. We can just write 13 here. The answer is 1,300. Let's do a few more examples. This time, let's do 451 times 8. You know what? I'm going to make this a little lower. Like that there. 451 times 8. So remember, we are going to go right to left, and Very important, guys. Very important to line up all the numbers. I noticed in class some people were like, they were writing this equation like this: 451 times, wrong color, 451 times 8. Now you see that this 8 is, it's not really, it should be lined up. It should be lined up with the 1. Otherwise, you're going to make mistakes. You just got to trust me on that. So again, let's go back and make sure our 451 times 8, the 8 is perfectly lined up, or as perfect as we can make it. And let's get to work. 8 times 1. Actually, let me use another color. Let's do this color. 8 times 1 is 8. Then we go right to left. Nothing carried over. 8 times 5, well, that's 40. That's 40. So what I like to do is I just kind of like to write the number on the side, 40. And then the visual helps me remember that it's the number in the ones place that goes down here next to this 8. And then it's the number in the tens place, or if we had another number here, we would add that too. We've got 4 tens, so we're going to add 4. Oops, my bad. Confusing you. Add 4 to the next spot over, which is there. And now we continue with our work. 8 times 4, that's 32. Is anything carried over? Sure is. We've got 4 carried over. So 8 times 4 is 32. 32 plus 4 is 36. Now we just put the 36 here. All right. Now, again, you might be, saying, I'm not sure I understand this. Where people get confused is with the carrying over. What I noticed in class is some people will, they know that they're supposed to go right to left, but like, for instance, they'll do, they'll do 8 times 1, okay, that's 8, but then they'll do 8 times 5, that's 40, and then they carry the 4, but then they're like, okay, do I do 8 times, they do this, they do the 4 plus the 4 first, and then they say, oh, it's 8 times 8. No, 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 don't do that. That is not the way to go about it. Always, always, always remember, do the multiplication first. Do the multiplication first, whatever that product is, then add whatever is carried over. That is so important to know. Let's do one more example. And again, we're going to do some more practice in class, and we're even going to get into a double digit times a double digit. But before we do that, we've really, really got to understand this part. So let's do 908 times 2. Okay. Start with 2 times 8 because we're going right to left. 2 times 8, that's 16. So sometimes I like to use the side margin or whatever area I have to write numbers out. Remember, guys, with math, you can always use scratch paper or the margins to write things out or help you finish, do the problem. Okay, so 8 times 2 is 16. We're going to put our 6 here, and we're going to carry the 1 to the next place over. Then, now again, we have to do multiplication first. 2 times 0. We have to do multiplication first. 2 times 0 is 0. Then we add the plus 1. Well, 0 plus 1 is just 1. That was pretty simple. And now we're done with that one, and now we go to the next one. 2 times 9, that's 18. But there's nothing to put, nothing to carry over. No place is there, so we just put 18 here, and 908 times 2 is 1,816. All right. If you're still a little confused, I'll do one more. Let's do this one in pink. Let's do 730 times 4. All right, let's rock and roll. Okay, we've got a 0 here, so first we're going to do 4 times 0. 4 times 0 is 0, because any number times 0 is 0. Next, we're going to do 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. I'm going to put my 2 over here, carry over the 1 to the next spot, plus 1. Sometimes I circle it so that I don't forget it. And then, I'm going to do 4 times 7. 4 times 7, that's 28. Let me write it on the side so I don't forget it. But I also have to add this plus 1, because remember, we get the product first, then we add whatever was carried over. 28 plus 1 is 29. Can just put that right there. The answer is 2,920. So I hope that maybe that helps you. Remember, doing things in the right order is really important. We'll do some worksheets and games with this in our next class. I cannot wait to see everyone. And on that note, have a wonderful rest of your day. See you later.